Gender and racial discrimination has remained in dispute since the beginning of the civilized world, but people around the globe are seeking a solution to fix these worldwide issues. First of all, people can perceive and treat someone else differently just because of their gender. Most of the time, women are generally the ones who are treated unfairly in everyday situations, including the workplace. The reason men feel the need to undermine a woman is the sense that men assume they are superior in everyday aspects and daily positions.
And then a few nights later, I was on the way home on the bus quite late at night, and I was on the phone to my mum. And I thought at first that the guy next to me just accidentally brushed my leg with his hand. And I carried on talking to my mum. And then I realised that actually he was grabbing and groping my leg and moving his hand up towards my crotch. And I stood up to move away from him, but because I was on the phone to my mum, I vocalised it in a way that I don't think I would have done otherwise. So I said, I'm on the bus, this guy's groping me. And everybody on that bus looked out the window, or looked down at their feet, or looked at their phone. Certainly nobody stepped in, but more than that, there was a real sense of, why are you making a fuss about this, woman? You know, this is your issue, deal with it, don't make us have to think about it.
The effect of men differentiating women by her appearance or sex in general can cause women to feel excluded and unwanted as an individual. This can lead to mental health problems such as depression and anxiety. Additionally, women across the globe continue to push and fight for equal rights, including pay. According to Natalie McPhilia, the sales processor at Right Implement,
there's also issues. Some of the female employees are sometimes unhappy because they feel like they're not heard. And a lot, I notice a trend, I think, where, and it's not like necessarily, I don't think that managers are meaning to be they're meaning to be discriminatory, but I think there's a trend, and there's just a tendency with female employees to say, this is what you're going to do, and there's no discussion.
Studies across various nations have proved that for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes 75 cents or less, no matter the level of education the woman may have. Even though women continue to work many of the jobs that men do, they are discriminated against just because of their gender. Furthermore, racial and cultural inequality stands as another massive problem in communities around the world. Discrimination against African Americans has remained constant in the United States since the Civil War era and continues to generate multiple societal complications. When Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, racial discrimination in public places and institutions was declared illegal, and enforcement authorizations to desegregate public schools were incepted.
In 1983, whites in their 30s had an average net worth of $184,000. Today, these whites, who are in their early 60s, have accumulated $1.1 million in wealth. In contrast, blacks have seen their wealth go from $54,000 to $161,000.
Whites make up 64% of the total population, but only 31% of the incarcerated population. Blacks represent 14% of society, but 36% of the prison population.
In 1972, there were 300,000 people in jails and prisons. Today, there are 2.3 million. The United States now has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. We have 7 million people on probation and parole, and mass incarceration, in my judgment, has fundamentally changed our world. In poor communities and communities of color, there is this despair, there is this hopelessness that is being shaped by these outcomes. 1 out of 3 black men between the ages of 18 and 30 is in jail, in prison, on probation, or parole. In urban communities across this country, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, 50 to 60% of all young men of color are in jail or prison, or on probation and parole.
Even though numerous laws, bills, and regulations have been passed by leaders in politics, nothing has remained stable to keep all races treated equally. If there are fewer people of different races working, there is a higher chance of the individuals of different ethnic groups being imprisoned. Overall, prejudice towards African Americans remains as a societal issue that will be extremely challenging to correct. If racial discrimination cannot be settled completely, several other disparate issues will occur and will lead to the constant struggles of ensuring every race is treated fairly.